American Chopper was not just a television show. It was a cultural phenomenon. It brought the world into the noisy, colorful, and often chaotic workshop of Orange County choppers, where father and son, Paul Teutul Sr. and Paul Teutul Jr., along with their team, turned custom motorcycles into a form of art that captured millions of viewers. From the very first episode, people were fascinated by the tension, the loud arguments, and the sheer creativity that went into every build. Paul Sr. was the face of authority, a larger-than-life figure who commanded attention whenever he entered the room. His booming voice, sunglasses, and arms folded over a chest of steel made him unforgettable on screen. Paul Jr., on the other hand, was the creative genius. He designed bikes that were not only functional, but visually stunning. Every line, curve, and theme he added gave each motorcycle a personality. And it was this combination of raw authority and imaginative design that made the show work. Fans tuned in to see not just motorcycles, but stories of conflict and resolution, art and aggression, and family dynamics in full view. The entire shop became the stage where life, work, and drama collided in front of the cameras. It was a dream for everyone involved. For Paul Jr., it was an opportunity to showcase his talent to the world. For Paul Sr., it was a way to expand the business and cement his reputation as the ultimate builder. And for other team members, like Mikey Teutul and Vinny DeMartino, it was a chance to be part of something much bigger than themselves. The fame came quickly. Bikes built by Orange County choppers were not only television stars, they were prized possessions, sought after by collectors and celebrities alike. The shop itself became a tourist attraction. Fans came to see the work in person, and the Teutuls became household names. The success of the show meant money, opportunities, and visibility. They could command high prices for their bikes, appear on talk shows, and even land partnerships with major brands. But with fame came pressure. Behind the cameras, relationships were complicated. Paul Sr. and Paul Jr. often clashed, not just on creative choices, but over control of the company. Arguments were frequent and intense. While these conflicts were entertaining for viewers, they reflected deeper issues of trust, authority, and ambition. Other team members witnessed these clashes firsthand, and while some thrived in the high-energy environment, others felt the stress acutely. Despite the tension, the early years of the show were filled with energy, innovation, and excitement. The Teutuls had captured lightning in a bottle. Every bike told a story. Every episode showed viewers how much work, planning, and artistry went into custom motorcycle building. And every argument reminded fans that reality television, at its best, reveals human nature in all its complexity. But as with many stories of rapid success, the foundation beneath the fame was not always as stable as it appeared. Financial pressures, creative differences, and family conflicts would eventually bring challenges that no television camera could fully capture. The early glory of Orange County choppers set the stage for both incredible success and ultimately dramatic difficulties. Fans may remember the roaring engines and spectacular designs, but the personal struggles behind the scenes were just beginning. As the show grew in popularity, each Teutul faced the pressure to perform, innovate, and maintain the brand's reputation. Mistakes were magnified under public scrutiny, and personal choices had consequences that affected not only the individual, but the entire shop. It was a world where fame, family, and business were inseparably linked, and every decision carried weight far beyond the workshop floor. And yet, in those early days, despite all the tension and drama, there was hope, excitement, and a shared vision. The motorcycles were symbols of talent, dedication, and creativity. Every completed build reinforced the idea that the Teutuls and their team were at the top of their game. Fans believed in their skill, the media celebrated their rise, and the world watched as American Chopper became a defining reality show of its era. As the years went on, the bright lights of fame dimmed for some members of the American Chopper family. What had once seemed like an unstoppable empire faced unexpected challenges. Paul Jr., who had been celebrated as a design genius, found himself increasingly at odds with his father over creative control and the direction of the company. Their disagreements were not just about bikes, they were about ownership, authority, and recognition. In one of the most shocking moments of the show's history, Paul Sr. fired his son on camera in 2008. This scene became a symbol of both the drama and the personal cost of working in a family-run business under the public eye. While Jr. retained a 20% ownership stake, the fight over its value led to a long and stressful legal battle. Judges eventually ruled in his favor, but the personal relationship between father and son never fully recovered. Leaving Orange County Choppers, Paul Jr. started Paul Jr. Designs, aiming to rebuild his career independently. He faced the challenge of creating a brand without the established resources, crew, or television exposure that had once supported him. Despite his talent, the road was not easy. Major brands such as Microsoft, Cadillac, and Mercedes-Benz commissioned bikes, and his work continued to attract attention for its artistry. But financial stability remained fragile. By 2018, Paul Jr. filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. His assets and debts were nearly equal, demonstrating that fame alone cannot ensure lasting financial security. His story shows that even skill, creativity, and reputation must be paired with sustainable business management. Meanwhile, Paul Sr., the show's larger-than-life figure, faced his own challenges. The tough, confident persona he portrayed on television masked growing financial difficulties. By 2018, Paul Sr. also filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy, revealing debts to dozens of creditors and limited cash flow. His New York mansion, once a monument to success, was sold in 2019 for less than he hoped. Legal disputes and allegations of mismanaged funds further complicated his situation, highlighting how quickly the appearance of wealth can be threatened by financial missteps. Mikey Teutul, who had always been seen as the light-hearted member of the family, struggled quietly in the background. While fans laughed at his antics, he battled alcohol addiction that worsened over the years. Eventually, the pressure of public life and personal struggles led to him being removed from the shop. Mikey's journey took him to rehab, where he began rebuilding his life, gradually finding stability and a renewed sense of purpose. Today, he works behind the scenes at Orange County Choppers and runs personal projects including a small business and art ventures, showing that recovery and growth are possible even after setbacks. Vinny DiMartino, another key figure in the shop, chose a different path. He left Orange County Choppers voluntarily in 2007, seeking a quieter, more stable career without the chaos and drama of television. While his early post-show business, V-Force Customs, faced challenges due to economic downturns and industry shifts, Vinny eventually established DM Martino Motorsports, a repair business focusing on cars and light trucks. Unlike the television spotlight, this work is practical, consistent, and financially sustainable. The contrast between these different paths shows that life after fame is unpredictable. Some face dramatic falls, others rebuild quietly, and some find new ways to succeed outside of the personal stories of Paul Jr., Paul Sr., Mikey, and Vinny demonstrate that success is fragile, that family dynamics are complex, and that rebuilding is often slower and harder than achieving initial fame. Each member faced difficult choices, sacrifices, and consequences. Yet, in every story, there is an element of persistence. Whether through legal victories, personal recovery, or entrepreneurial reinvention, they all show that setbacks do not have to define a person's future. American Chopper may have declined as a television phenomenon, but the individual members continue to shape their paths, finding ways to move forward despite challenges. Their experiences remind viewers that life is rarely as simple as it appears on screen, and that true success requires adaptation, resilience, and the ability to learn from mistakes. Today, the American chopper stars have found very different ways to continue their lives and careers, showing that recovery and reinvention are possible even after public setbacks. Paul Teutul Jr., after leaving his father's shop, rebuilt a reputation as a designer and entrepreneur. His independent company, Paul Jr. Designs, allowed him to work with major brands and maintain creative control over his projects. While financial difficulties and bankruptcy were setbacks, his work remains highly regarded in the motorcycle community, and he continues to influence custom bike design. Paul Sr. shifted his focus after selling his New York property and relocating to Florida, opening the OC Museum and Roadhouse. Although the scale is smaller than the original Orange County Choppers empire, it allows him to continue sharing his love for motorcycles while managing his business in a more sustainable way. Mikey Teutul, once the comic relief of the shop, has transformed into a symbol of recovery and personal growth. Through rehab, behind-the-scenes work at the shop, and creative projects including art and food businesses, Mikey demonstrates that life can be rebuilt even after addiction and public challenges. His journey reflects the importance of stability, self-care, and the quiet satisfaction of rebuilding a life on one's own terms. Vinny DiMartino successfully reinvented his career outside of the television spotlight. By focusing on practical and sustainable automotive repair work, he built a business that provides consistent income and peace of mind. His story shows that stepping away from the public eye does not mean failure, but can instead offer freedom, control, and fulfillment. Collectively, the American Chopper team's post-show experiences offer lessons about resilience, adaptation, and the unpredictable nature of life after fame. Financial struggles, legal battles, and personal challenges tested each of them. But their stories also show how persistence, creativity, and a willingness to start over can lead to new forms of success. Fans may remember the shouting matches, dramatic arguments, and unforgettable motorcycles, but the real story is about the people behind the builds. How they responded to setbacks, rebuilt their lives, and discovered that true accomplishment is often measured not by fame, but by stability, growth, and personal fulfillment. From the heights of reality TV stardom to the struggles of financial hardship, and finally to personal and professional reinvention, the Teutuls' journey continues to captivate, inspire, and teach important lessons about the complexity of life, family, and work. Each member has adapted in their own way. Paul Jr. as a respected designer and entrepreneur. Paul Sr. as a museum operator and brand maintainer. Mikey as a creative and recovered individual. And Vinny as a practical, skilled craftsman. Their stories reveal that success is not a single peak, but a series of challenges and reinventions, and that the end of a television show does not mean the end of creativity, purpose, or influence. The American Chopper legacy lives on, not just in the motorcycles that were built or the episodes that aired, but in the resilience, determination, and adaptation of the people who made it possible. While the public may focus on the drama, the truth is more nuanced and far more inspiring. Even after everything seems lost, it is possible to start again, rebuild, and find fulfillment in ways that are sometimes quieter, but no less meaningful. For viewers today, this is a story not just about motorcycles, fame, or family drama. Each Teutul shows that, no matter how loud the cameras were, life continues, and with effort, focus, and creativity, new paths can always be found. Their journeys remind us that personal growth, hard work, and adaptation often matter more than money or fame, and that even when the spotlight fades, the lessons, skill, and legacy can endure. The story of the American Chopper stars teaches us a lot about fame, family, and the challenges of running a business in the public eye. While fans often remember the loud arguments, dramatic bike builds, and reality TV spectacles, the deeper story is about human struggle and resilience. Each member of the Teutul family and their close associates faced moments of choice, where their decisions shaped not just the future of the company, but their personal lives as well. For Paul Teutul Jr., the lessons were about independence, creativity, and the importance of protecting one's work. Leaving Orange County Choppers after years of conflict was not easy. He had to step away from the business he helped build, separate from the family dynamics that had become increasingly tense, and start over in an environment where he had no guaranteed support or television exposure. It was a risk, and it required courage and determination. Yet, through Paul Jr. designs, he demonstrated that talent and persistence could create new opportunities, even when the odds seemed stacked against him. Financial struggles, including his 2018 bankruptcy filing, were setbacks, but they did not define him. Instead, he used these challenges to rethink his approach to business, manage resources more carefully, and focus on creating meaningful, high-quality work that spoke for itself. For Paul Sr., the lessons were different. As the dominant personality of Orange County Choppers, he learned that authority and reputation alone are not enough to secure long-term stability. Managing finances, keeping promises to clients and investors, and adapting to changing markets are equally important. His struggles with debt, legal challenges, and foreclosure demonstrated how quickly public success can be threatened by poor financial planning or overconfidence. Moving to Florida and opening the OC Museum and Roadhouse allowed him to continue his passion, while scaling back to a level that matched his resources. This shift highlights an important lesson. Success is not always about being the biggest or loudest. Sometimes it is about finding sustainable ways to continue doing what you love. Mikey Teutul's journey offers one of the clearest lessons about personal responsibility, recovery, and reinvention. Though he was always seen as the humorous, easygoing member of the family on television, he struggled privately with addiction and the pressures of fame. Losing his role in the shop was a difficult turning point. It forced him to confront issues he had long ignored and make hard decisions about his health and future. Rehab gave him the opportunity to rebuild his life, and he embraced it, not seeking immediate fame or recognition, but focusing on stability, self-improvement, and meaningful work. His behind-the-scenes role at Orange County Choppers, along with his personal projects like art and gourmet food ventures, demonstrates that success can come in many forms, and personal growth is as valuable, if not more, than public recognition. Vinny DeMartino's story is another example of adaptation and foresight. By leaving the television spotlight early, he avoided some of the drama and financial turbulence that affected other team members. While his post-show business initially faced difficulties due to market changes, Vinny's focus on practical automotive repair and steady client service allowed him to build a sustainable livelihood. His story teaches that stepping away from fame does not mean giving up. Instead, it can offer freedom, control, and a sense of accomplishment that is often absent in high-pressure public careers. Collectively, the experiences of these four key figures reveal a pattern of resilience. They show that setbacks, whether financial, personal, or professional, are not necessarily the end of a journey. What matters is how individuals respond to challenges, adapt to circumstances, and find ways to leverage their skills, reputation, and creativity in new directions. Fame, while exciting and glamorous, is temporary. The Teutuls' experiences remind viewers that personal stability, long-term planning, and emotional intelligence are critical to lasting success. Beyond individual lessons, the story of American Chopper also reflects broader truths about business and family dynamics. Working closely with family, especially in high-stakes, high-pressure environments, can amplify both strengths and weaknesses. Trust, communication, and clear boundaries are essential, yet often difficult to maintain when personal relationships overlap with business responsibilities. The Teutuls' public disputes, legal battles, and conflicts illustrate how unresolved tensions can escalate when mixed with money, recognition, and power. However, these stories are not just cautionary tales. They are also examples of the human capacity to learn, grow, and reinvent oneself. By examining how each individual faced challenges, from legal disputes to financial crises, addiction to public scrutiny, viewers can gain insight into the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and personal responsibility. Even when the camera stopped rolling, the lessons continued. Creativity, skill, and reputation remain valuable assets. Relationships can be rebuilt, businesses can be restructured, and personal growth can transform setbacks into opportunities. Today, Paul Jr. continues to design remarkable bikes, inspiring both fans and aspiring builders. Paul Sr. enjoys the satisfaction of continuing his work on a smaller, more manageable scale. Mikey thrives in personal and professional balance, proving that recovery and reinvention are possible. And Vinny demonstrates that focusing on steady, practical work can be as fulfilling as public acclaim. The overarching lesson is clear. Life after fame may not be easy, but it is full of opportunities for those willing to adapt, take responsibility, and continue building, both literally and metaphorically. By reflecting on the journeys of the American chopper stars, viewers are reminded that success is multifaceted, resilience is essential, and the ability to start over is one of the most valuable skills anyone can have. Fame may fade, fortunes may fluctuate, but determination, creativity, and a willingness to learn can help anyone navigate the challenges of life, business, and family. This story goes beyond motorcycles, drama, and reality television. It is a story about people, their choices, their struggles, and their ability to rebuild in the face of adversity. For fans of the show, it provides closure, context, and appreciation for the complexities behind the roaring engines and shouting matches. For anyone watching from the outside, it offers lessons about ambition, accountability, and resilience. Life, like a custom-built bike, requires careful planning, patience, and a willingness to adjust when circumstances change. The American chopper stars may have faced public setbacks and private struggles, but their stories continue, offering inspiration and guidance to anyone navigating their own challenges. In the end, the journey of the Teutuls is a reminder that true success is not measured by television ratings, wealth, or recognition alone. It is measured by the ability to adapt, to keep going, and to find meaning and fulfillment, even when the path forward is uncertain. Whether it is rebuilding a business, repairing personal relationships, or simply finding stability after chaos, the lessons of American Chopper are timeless, showing that life is about persistence, resilience, and the courage to start again.